So let me do a follow-up and a conclusion to what I said about the Southern presidency. So at the end of the day, when the priorities are ticked, then you can have a president, the next president of Nigeria. So the focus is not supposed to be which tribe the person comes from. The focus is not supposed to be which ethnic group the person comes from. The focus is supposed to be on having a truly Nigerian president that represents a federal president with true federal character. That's one of the things Buhari does not have. Buhari represents the voice of a segment. Buhari represents the voice of an ethnic group. Buhari represents the voice of a faction of Nigeria. It's not supposed to be like that. As president, he's supposed to be father of all. He's supposed to run an inclusive government. He's supposed to run a government of national unity. So the focus should be on scanning through, because Buhari his tenure will still expire. The focus should be on scanning through who are people, who are the individuals that represent the strength that Buhari does not possess. Who The next president is supposed to be a young man, so they should be on the lookout for a young man, a young candidate. The next president is supposed to be a government, an individual that has the capacity to be a unifier. His precedence, his antecedents falls in that category or in that group. So if you have individuals like that, then they become prospective presidential flag bearers for the party. That's exactly how it is. Look at how soldiers operate. Soldiers, for instance, they work with morale. So you can say morale to a soldier is like drug to a terrorist. Nigeria is linking drugs to terrorism. Nigeria is linking drugs to banditry. Nigeria is linking drugs to cultism. That's the truth. You need drugs to be able to kill somebody. You need drugs to be able to chop off somebody's head. You need drugs to be able to chop off somebody's hand. You need drugs to be able to be able to perform violent crimes. So if you realize that a soldier looks at morale as his drug, when the morale of a soldier is high, he can be able to do anything. That's exactly how it is with terrorists. That's exactly how it is with bandits. That's exactly how it is with kidnappers. That's exactly how it is with criminals. When they are high on drugs, they can be able to do anything. So, what does that tell you? If you have a soldier that has the capacity to motivate other soldiers, it will get the job done easier. If you have a general that is known to be a unifier, a general that is known to boost the morale of fellow soldiers, it becomes a walk in the park. That is exactly how it is supposed to be when you are talking about the next president. See, the current president has some deficiencies. The current president has some weaknesses. So they should be on the lookout for people or some guys that represent what he is not. So for every weakness of Buhari, those guys represent his strength. That's the only way you can talk about a fantastic president. So my own is, I don't care that that person is a southerner. I don't care where that person comes from. That's the truth. As long as the next president is a product of a democratic process, as long as the next president mirrors or represents the voice and the choice of the Nigerian people, every normal or right thinking Nigerian is supposed to pledge allegiance or support that person. That's exactly how I think. That's exactly how normal human beings are supposed to think. If you belong to the security agencies, whether you're a soldier, whether you're a navy man, whether you're a policeman, anything you are, as long as the election is free, fair, credible, the voices of the people must be heard. And once the voices of the people decide or choose that this is their candidate by virtue of their votes, you salute him and you accord him the cooperation and the support he deserves. That is exactly how every Democrat is supposed to think. That's the point. So there is no such thing as he's a Benue man. No. There's no such thing as he's a Hausa man. No. Look at soldiers. Soldiers, they represent the source of unity in this country. That's the truth. A Benue man is a soldier. A Hausa man is a soldier. A Fulani man is a soldier. An Edo man is a soldier. If you go to the Nigerian army, you have different tribes. They're in the Nigerian army. When duty calls, what do you think will happen if a Benue man gets a primary assignment in Kano? He will go and protect the people in Kano. It's the same thing with the Edo man. Duty calls, he gets a primary assignment to go to Kebbi State. He will go to protect the people in Kebbi State. So that's exactly how we are supposed to see it. The next president is supposed to represent the strength when it is compared to Buhari's weakness. He has to be a young man. He has to form a government of national unity. He needs to be a unifier. He will unify the whole country. That's it. He needs to have the antecedents. He needs to be proactive. He needs to be somebody that has the aptitude so that when Nigeria presents itself in the League of Nations, when Nigeria presents itself in the international community, people will be interested in listening to what we have to say. See, the president is not a primary school or secondary school holder. The president is educated. He's not an illiterate. So when he talks before United Nations, the world is inclined to listen. That is the kind of president Nigeria should be interested in bringing forward. So that's the point. So at the end of the day, like I said, it does not necessarily mean that Hausa, Fulani plus Yoruba equals power. That is how it is in the inner workings. That does not mean that the next vice president must be a Yoruba man. No. The point I'm trying to make is that they can sit down and they decide. See, let's pick this guy. Let's pick this guy. See, the delegates will make arrangements so that he becomes the presidential flag bearer. He will not just be a presidential flag bearer. This other guy will be his running mate. Everything becomes arranged. So the key stakeholders that make it happen are the Hausa Fulani people that belong to the political party. The key stakeholders that will make it happen are the Yoruba or southwestern states that belong to that party. So you see, the Hausa Fulani man will vote for the preferred candidate and the running mate. The southwestern guys will vote for the preferred candidate and the running mate. The problem in Nigeria has never been about power. The problem in Nigeria has always been about the right power sharing formula to adopt. That's the point. So if they decide that the running mate or the vice president should be from a southwestern state, it does not necessarily have to be Yoruba. But the southwestern state can contribute to the victory of the party. So behind the scenes, a satisfactory revenue power sharing formula can be adopted. See, now that they've won election, we know it is the party that made it happen. The stakeholders in Hausa Fulani ethnic group, they made it happen. The stakeholders in the southwest, they made it happen. So it is no longer the Yoruba man that is the vice president, but the southwestern guys, they contributed. So since they contributed by virtue of their votes and their support, let's share it like this. Take this one. Hausa Fulani, take this one. So the problem in Nigeria is adopting a fantastic or satisfactory power sharing formula. So if they can come up with a satisfactory power sharing formula, there should be no problems. That's exactly what they are talking about with the PIB bill. Silver, uh, Niger Delta man shows up and he makes it happen. So that is the problem in this country. The problem has always been the right power sharing formula to adopt. So if they can come up with the right power sharing formula, problem solved. That's the truth. So we should not be talking about a vice president must be a southwestern man or a Yoruba man. It can be anybody. The president must be a southwestern or any, it can be anybody. The focus should be on forming a government of national unity. The focus should be on getting a power sharing formula that is satisfactory for the key stakeholders. In chess, when you play chess, you are not concerned about all your pawns. Politics is like a game of chess. If you play chess and you're a chess stadium winning, even the grandmaster in chess, if he plays chess, he will lose some of his pawns. That's the truth. So in the game of chess, there are some pawns that you can afford to lose. In the game of chess, there are some pawns that you cannot afford to lose. So that's how it is in politics. In politics, you have key stakeholders. You don't joke with them because of what they bring to the table. You don't joke with them because of what they contribute to the party. That's the point. So once you recognize that there are key stakeholders, the Hausa Fulani plays a very important role in who becomes the next president. The Southwestern guys can also contribute. Now, let me tell you something. In the equation that I came up with, Nigerian Politics 101, Hausa Fulani plus Yoruba equals power of victory, there was something I knew or understood that nobody can contest. What is that? The Yorubas, they are not a constant in that equation. The Yorubas are a variable in that equation. So all that means is that if the Hausa Fulani tribe can speak with one voice, they don't really need the West, the Southwest. That's the truth. The reason why you are talking about a Yoruba in the equation is because the Hausa Fulani tribe, they are not speaking with one voice. If they speak with one voice, there will be no talk about a Yoruba or a Southwestern group or ethnic group in the equation. That's the truth. So that is why I say the power sharing formula should be the bone of contention. See, there are key stakeholders in this game, and these key stakeholders, they are the ones responsible for this victory. It is supposed to be one man, one vote, but we know that democracy is the rule of the majority. And since democracy is the rule of the majority, the guys with the numbers, they are key stakeholders. Just like you have 17 states that belong to the Hausa Fulani tribe, you have just like you have 19 states, sorry, they belong to the Hausa Fulani tribe. You have 17 states that belong to the Hausa, the southern states. That's it. So if it is the rule of the majority, the guys that hold the majority, they are key stakeholders. Aha. So if they get it right and they know what they are doing in the politicking or in the game of politics that they are playing, all they need to do as the majority, that's the House of Fulani tribe, is to speak with one voice. If they speak with one voice, they would hold the scat. There will be no need for a political alliance or a partnership with southwestern states. That's the point. So why people are talking about the southwestern candidate as the president, I'm thinking differently. All I'm seeing is Nigeria needs a young president so that he can be able to absorb the shocks, the rigors, or the demands of the office of the president. You need to be young. You need to be young so that what Buhari was not able to do, the young guy will be able to do it. You need to